for all the examples we've seen. Him suing Showtime for $300 million, him foreclosing on multiple properties, him losing on investments on multiple properties, him buying a lot of depreciating assets, and him all of a sudden looking to box very much in the year 2026. Floyd losing money Mayweather, as the chatter says, is in dire straits.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
People will say, you know, he's suing now because of his gambling habits, which was not hidden. It was not a secret. He would post, not Teddy Atlas talk about anything that wasn't out there. He would post some of his tickets, his betting tickets that he bet, you know, and they were large bets. And so some people, yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever.
Once celebrated as one of the richest men in sports, Floyd Mayweather now finds himself facing a steep fall. The boxing world shows visible grief as well as anger as legal troubles close in. He may now also be sued by Manny Pacquiao over his recent comments regarding the fight.
No joy. We are not one of these sick people, and I call them sick. I'm not afraid to say what I feel. That's in their underwear in grandmother's basement or wherever the freak they are, taking pot shot at people because of their misery, because of their misfortune, because they're in a bad place. Shame on you. And shame on the people out there. I know that there's some of them, everyone knows I don't really read that internet unless somebody shows me specifically some stuff. And I saw some of the stuff. I didn't want to see any more, so I told them, don't show me anymore. But I saw enough to see what was out there. People taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point, and now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great.
Reports revealed that Floyd Mayweather's vast wealth may be overstated, pointing to liens, foreclosures, debts, and leveraged assets like property and a private jet, with creditors reportedly pursuing him over unpaid jet fuel. Moreover, Mayweather sparked controversy with comments on the Manny Pacquiao fight, insisting it's an exhibition despite taking a professional fight advance, putting him in potential breach of contract.
Had to say the fight weekend of Fundora and Thurman. Apparently he did an interview, said that it was an exhibition, that these guys didn't have anything to prove, that their legends were already set in stone, and that it would be an exhibition. He wasn't sure if it was going to be at the Sphere. Apparently, that is not true. According to a Boxing Scene article that interviewed Jazz Mathur, the CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, said that, yes, the fight is contracted for the Sphere, booked at the Sphere, scheduled at the Sphere for September 19th. It is booked as a professional fight, not as an exhibition. It was never booked as an exhibition, which makes sense because Netflix got behind it, and I would assume that they would not want an exhibition. We said the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, we said that this fight has to be a real fight and not an exhibition because, one, Netflix is involved, two, Manny Pacquiao wants that get back, and two, also just betting lines. It's a huge aspect of this sport and this kind of...
On Twitter, Mike Carpenter exposed Floyd Mayweather's controversial comments, saying they directly contradicted Netflix's official announcement and that he would be in breach of contract if he insisted on shifting it to an exhibition. Wade Plemons said that after signing and taking advance payments for a professional fight, Floyd calling it an exhibition suggests he's trying to scam Netflix and Manny Pacquiao's team. Floyd previously pulled a similar move with the Logan Paul fight, pre-selling it using another person's name and likeness for $10 million in cash.
Something is off. Something's completely off because you got one person saying, this is a real fight. You got the promotion saying, this is a real fight. You got Floyd Mayweather saying, no, this is an exhibition. There's two things that are happening here. Either somebody messed up in paperwork or in communication or in some form of getting this fight together, misspoke to one of these guys, or Floyd Mayweather is trying to scam Netflix. That is the only two things that can be possible here. Because we then get the report, as of yesterday, that Floyd Mayweather has already taken a cash advance payment of his purse for the upcoming Manny Pacquiao rematch on Netflix, despite it currently being in jeopardy. I don't even know how that's possible. Who gave him a cash advance before they even got to the fight? I understand like paying some up front to secure the fight, but paying everything? Maybe it's not what it is. Maybe the cash advance is like...
Teddy Atlas says it's really sad, explaining that sometimes athletes lack the right people to manage their finances, and that's exactly what happened in Floyd Mayweather's case.
Fighters, they risk everything. They risk so much. And then everything they took the risk for sometimes is lost. Whether it was Joe Louis, whether whoever. It never becomes not sad or unfortunate to hear. Never. It's look, you could say it's their responsibility. It is. It is. You got to know what's going on. But there are also sharks in this business, in any business. And sometimes these athletes, I wouldn't even specify fighters. We're talking about fighters. But you hear it in football, Bud. You were around it. You hear it in basketball. Sometimes these athletes, they don't have the right people around them to look out for them, to properly educate them, to properly advise them. Hey, some don't listen.
Jonah Renitz is a controversial businessman and close associate of Floyd Mayweather, often described as a key figure in managing Mayweather's post-boxing business and real estate investments. Fight Opinion on X states, Manny Pacquiao's team is threatening litigation against Floyd Mayweather over the Sphere fight on Netflix. That's not the only lawsuit threat against Floyd or his top associate, Jonah Renitz. Jonah was supposed to go to prison, but now there's a new twist. Manny says it's a real fight and he will not participate in an exhibition. Floyd has signed the contract, so he must fight professionally, as Manny insists on a legitimate sanctioned bout.
It's an exhibition and not a real fight. Is that what he's feeling? But he signed a real fight. So it's for sure. Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight. Real fight, okay. Yeah, because I know he said... I want to fight an exhibition. No exhibition. It's either real fight or nothing. Yeah, it's a real fight. Yeah. The Sphere still in Las Vegas? That's the contract that he signed. I mean. Yeah. Okay, so it's still happening then. He has to remember.
Joe Rogan highlights that Floyd Mayweather spent over a decade as arguably boxing's biggest American star. He defeated Manny Pacquiao in 2015 in what was then the richest fight, showcasing superb defense, quick hands, and the Money Mayweather persona that fueled his stardom and wealth.
From Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather. Changed the whole thing.
He knew what he was doing.
He definitely did. It would have been an interesting fight had he fought Pacquiao when he was younger, in his prime. It would have been a very different
Would have been
fight.
a more interesting fight.
Much more different.
Because
Much more difficult
any
fight.
go-forward physical warrior like Pacquiao is going to wear down.
Right, exactly.
And any brilliant counterpuncher like Floyd is going to retain more.
Yeah.
So he did.
Yeah, it would have been much more interesting when they were younger. Also, the fact that Pacquiao fought him with a bum shoulder. That was a disaster, too.
Money talks.
Yeah. I mean, look, I guess he was faced with this thing, legacy, or... I mean, it was the biggest pay-per-view of all time in boxing, correct?
I believe so.
I believe so. And I think it was like 4 million buys or something crazy like that.
It was huge.
So, like, what is that?
It was massive.
Floyd Mayweather has always flaunted his wealth, spending extravagantly on luxury watches, flashy cars, and signing enormous checks like $18 million as if the money meant nothing. He constantly showcased his wealth, acting untouchable and unconcerned with financial consequences. Yet now he has filed a lawsuit against his former broadcast partner Showtime and its ex-president Steven Espinoza, claiming he is owed $340 million. This lawsuit highlights the contrast between his public persona of endless wealth and the complex financial disputes behind the scenes, showing that even someone as wealthy and celebrated as Mayweather faces challenges when money, contracts, and obligations collide.
To talk about it, 18 mil retired. I know some people gonna be like, well, you said I didn't want to say I was active because that's normal. Right. I said I wasn't activated. I knew what I said. So a lot of times I'm like, oh, you didn't say that right. I know I said it right. I know what I said. I knew what I posted.
I don't really care how much you make, bro. I feel like writing an $18 million check has to feel some sort of way, though.
That's crazy.
I didn't want to do it. Of course, I'm like, who wants to give up basically 20 million?
You wrote 18,180,000,000.00. Like, bro, that's crazy.
You know, I got huge deals on the table, so I'm always making shake.
What's the biggest thing you got working right now?
I can show this. Come here. So come here. So
Dude, what is it?
I keep this long, okay? So right here.
That's crazy.
I just keep stuff on the low.
Yeah, my math don't work like that. My math.
So now, when we gonna cut it and get straight?
50 Cent has said that people dislike Floyd Mayweather because of his money-focused fights and his attitude, constantly talking about wealth. Fans have often wanted to see Mayweather fail, yet Floyd has used this animosity to his advantage. Despite the hate, it fuels pay-per-view sales and generates massive earnings, turning public resentment into profit. His ability to leverage both admiration and disdain has made him one of boxing's most financially successful and notorious figures, proving that even criticism can be monetized when combined with skill, confidence, and the money-made persona that defines his career.
He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, "What a prize fighter fight for?" And I'm like, and he said, "The prize." So it's okay for you to watch the fight. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't.
Max Kellerman explains that fighters like Floyd Mayweather, who spent excessively and failed to make wise investments, often encounter serious financial problems after their prime. He emphasizes that even athletes who earn enormous sums can struggle later if they do not manage money carefully. Kellerman points out that overspending without planning for the future creates unavoidable challenges once a fighter's earning potential declines. He uses Floyd as an example, showing how a lack of financial foresight can lead to legal disputes, debt, and the need to return to the ring. Overall, he stresses that careful money management is crucial for long-term stability, even for top-earning athletes.
Feel about like Floyd with the 3 fights that's coming up. Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. I think the guy's from Greece or something like that. What do you feel about great champions doing these kind of fights as well? Or just these kind of fights that's going on?
They need money.
Damn.
Yeah, when you need money. This is the problem with boxing. You think about financial literacy, right? And you talk about like NFL players or NBA players. There's support systems for those dudes. There's nothing like that for fighters. They got to figure it out all themselves. And if you're a fighter, that means you did not have options.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like basketball or football. If you could, like, by the way, football players couldn't play basketball or they play basketball. It's a better deal, right? That's if you can, you do. And boxers couldn't do either one of those things, right? They're too small or they got hurt, whatever it is. And so you're dealing with a section of our world.
Max Kellerman criticizes Floyd Mayweather for mismanaging his wealth, highlighting his excessive spending on luxury cars, watches, and gambling. He points out that flaunting money without proper planning often leads to financial instability. Kellerman also acknowledges that many athletes face similar situations, retiring with very little despite earning millions during their careers. He stresses that even top earners must handle their finances wisely, as indulgent habits and impulsive purchases can quickly destroy fortunes. Floyd's lifestyle is used as a cautionary example, showing how constant extravagance and the lack of investment planning can create long-term problems and force even legendary athletes to face financial challenges later in life.
For that, there's no support or kind of structure in place to help them at all. And so what usually happens with almost every fighter who ever lived, not everyone, but most of them, is they wind up going broke at a certain point, right? First of all, taxes, child support, all that kind of stuff, promoters, this and that, and then just the way you spend your money. It could be bad investments. You could try to do the right thing and wind up with bad investments. You could just spend too much. And the thing is, if you're not the best in the world anymore, but You're one of, let's say, the 50 best in the world at what you do in your weight class still? Hard to tell that dude, you can make $100 million. No, don't do that because you're old.
Right.
Why would he not do it?
Wade Plemons reports that Floyd Mayweather has already received a cash advance for his upcoming Manny Pacquiao rematch on Netflix, despite the fight still being uncertain, which he calls unusual since full upfront purses are not common, even though advance payments to secure fights are normal. He also notes that ESPN and Mike Coppinger have confirmed the advance and explains that Floyd has a history of taking early payments and putting pressure on promotions while protecting his 50-0 legacy and still maximizing earnings, with past examples including exhibitions against DG and Logan Paul, where large payouts or fight conditions were reportedly demanded. Plemons warns that this pattern could now lead to legal trouble as Manny Pacquiao's team claims multiple contracts were signed, payments were received, and additional advances taken to lawsuits.
This is to be believed, and this is via ESPN. This is not, random Twitter person reporting this. I think Mike Coppinger also reported the same thing. If this is to be believed, Floyd took a cash advance and then undermined the promotion of his own fight to try to protect his 50-0 record and still make a bag. Floyd has done this for years. He has done this for years, especially after his pro career. When he was doing these exhibitions, he would not show up to things he was obligated to do, take advances. Even the Deji fight, you can ask Deji, I was there. Floyd demanded that they pay him some insane amount of money or he wasn't going to fight Deji while he was at the venue. And they wanted to change gloves and do all this stuff. And I think they actually did it. They paid Floyd to do it. And I've seen this with a bunch of his exhibitions. And obviously we know about the Logan Paul situation, how Floyd shopped his fight to a different company after essentially scamming royalty like Prince, whoever.
Jason Whitlock highlights widespread rumors about Floyd Mayweather's finances, including claims of bankruptcy, property auctions, and running out of money, which he suggests may explain Mayweather's return to boxing. He points out that Floyd allegedly spent enormous amounts while living in Las Vegas, trying to maintain a flashy lifestyle and appear relatable while simultaneously showcasing his wealth. Whitlock criticizes this approach, calling it an example of the dangers of living for image over financial prudence. He argues that at 49, Mayweather's return to the ring reflects the consequences of overspending and poor financial management, despite his past success and status as a boxing icon.
Across social media, there are rumors and stories coming out about Floyd Mayweather, him auctioning off property, him being in bankruptcy, him being out of money, and that's why he's going to fight Mike Tyson. Saw this incredible tweet where a guy listed all the things Floyd Mayweather wasted money on while living in Las Vegas and just living for the culture. That's what Floyd Mayweather is an example of. The stupidity of living for the culture and trying to be relatable and trying to be this incredible icon or example of, look how much money I've made. He's blown it all, and now at 49 years old, he's got to go back into the boxing ring and continue to fight because he's in a lot of debt.
Paulie Malignaggi believes that Floyd Mayweather's controversial comments may actually be the biggest selling point of the fight, as his bold statements and ongoing debates keep fans talking and increase attention on the event. He suggests that Mayweather's remarks, whether calling the fight an exhibition or a professional bout, could be part of a deliberate strategy to generate hype, boost public interest, and ultimately increase pay-per-view sales by turning controversy and public curiosity into marketing power.
Ultimately, Mayweather has to agree to whatever the contract is. If it's a fight, I think one of the comments the other day really made a point that, one of the comments in our chat made a point that, has really stuck with me. Mayweather has to know the terms he agreed to. Come on, I mean, you can't just sign something and not know those terms. He's got to know that if it is, in fact, it has to be a fight, then he would do this. And he knows he's got to go through with a fight. He may just be saying this just to sell the fight in general, just to sell it as, make it a talking point, make it a controversial point, so that people want to wind up, talking about it more, it becomes a topic of discussion. And then from that perspective, people, end up watching, more people end up watching it because it becomes more of a polarizing topic of conversation. So I don't know. I see this eventually getting straightened out. I think it has to. I mean, Floyd has to fight right now. I think Mayweather probably wants to fight right now. Mayweather wants to fight and probably has to fight right now. And Pacquiao seems to want to and have to as well.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned.